Good afternoon. So today we will see the radiation mechanism part. So why does antenna radiate? If a charge is not moving, then current is not created and there is no radiation. And if the charge is moving with uniform velocity, then there is no radiation if wire is straight and infinite in extent. And second condition is there is a radiation if the wire is curved, bent and discontinuous, terminated or truncated, which is given here, that is acceleration and deceleration of the charge change in velocity. If the charge is oscillating in time motion, then it radiates even if the wire is straight. So it is shown in this figure. That in the first diagram it is curved, in the second diagram it is bent, then discontinuous, then terminated and truncated. So all these conditions of wire given here, that is wire configuration for the radiation. The sole functionality of antenna is power radiation or reception. So what is the function of antenna? The function of antenna is power radiation or reception. The antenna, whether it transmit or receive or does both, it can be connected to the circuitry at the station through a transmission line. So the functioning of an antenna depends upon the radiation mechanism of transmission line. Function of antenna depends on the radiation mechanism of transmission line. So conductor which is designed to carry a current over large distance with minimum loss is termed as a transmission line. For example, a wire which is connected to an antenna, a transmission line conducting current with uniform velocity and the line being a straight one with infinite extent radiates no power. So for a transmission line to become a waveguide or to radiate power, it has to be processed as such. If the power has to be radiated through the current conduction is with uniform velocity, then the wire or the transmission line should be bent, truncated or terminated. If this transmission line has a current which accelerates or deaccelerates with a time varying constant, then it radiates the power even through the wire is straight, and the device or the tube, if bent or terminated to radiate the energy, then it is called as a waveguide, and these are especially used for microwave transmission or reception. So here is the displacement current, conduction current is displacement current. So the power from the transmission line travels through the waveguide, which has an aperture to radiate the energy. Now how is the radiation accomplished? So this is actual radiation mechanism. So how is the radiation accomplished? How are electromagnetic field generated by the source contained and guided within the transmission line and antenna, and finally detached from the antenna to form a free space wave. A natural understanding of the origins of radiation can be gained by associating a radiation with the acceleration of charge. In fact, this concept can be mathematically proven from Maxwell's equation. So here is the current distribution on linear dipoles. The natural understanding of the origin of radiation can be gained by associating radiation with the acceleration charge, and it can be mathematically proven from Maxwell's equation. So next is the it here the current distribution on lambda by 2 wire antenna for different times is given here. Also the half wavelength dipole, that is lambda by 2. Here length is lambda by 2. Lambda means what? Operating wavelength of the signal. It is resonant antenna, that is principle of resonance. Then radiation resistance is 73 ohm, and impedance matching is done by reducing its length till inductive part vanishes. Now the next is the types of antenna. So wire antenna, aperture antenna, microstrip antenna, array antenna and reflector antenna. The first is the wire antenna. The wire antenna is simplest form of antenna. Here dipole is used as a HF and UHF. It's easy to feed, easy to fabricate, lightweight and low gain. So first diagram shows the dipole, second diagram shows the circular loop and third diagram shows the helix. Then the next is aperture antenna, that is pyramidal horn or conical horn. Here diagram for these two are shown here. Open waveguide slots and used at microwave moderate gain. Next is the microstrip antenna. So it is relatively new. The printed conductor on the substrate compatible with the planar and microwave circuit used at microwave low gain. So here diagram for the microstrip antenna is given here. Next is the array antenna. So these are used to produce the desired radiation characteristic. Five controls that can be used to shape the overall pattern of the antenna, the geometrical configuration of the overall array, the relative displacement between the element, the excitation amplitude of the individual element, and the excitation phase of the individual element, and the relative pattern of the individual element. Next is the here is the planar square array 8 by 8, planar circular array, So this diagram shows the Uti radio telescope. This is at the Narayangah, Pune. The next is the reflector antenna. So reflector antenna various geometrical configurations, plain curved reflectors, especially the paraboloid, widely used in the radio astronomy, microwave communication, satellite tracking, and DTH. They are usually large in diameter to achieve the high gain, reduced to transmit or receive signals over a large distance. So here the first diagram shows the parabolic reflector with the front feed, and the second diagram shows the parabolic reflector with the Cassagnan feed. So next is the here the diagram for these antennas given here: Earth station, satellite, VSAT, and Tata Sky, that is Earth station. Now, before going to the next point, there are some microwave antenna types, that is horn antenna, parabolic antenna, printed or patch microstrip antenna, slot antenna, dipole antenna, dielectric antenna, phase array antenna. So, horn antenna, that is we have seen here in the wire horn antenna, in the aperture type antenna. The horn antennas are very popular at UHF, that is 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz and higher frequencies. The horn antennas often have a directional radiation pattern with high antenna gain, which can range up to 25 dB in some cases, with 10 to 20 dB being typical. The horn antennas have a wide impedance bandwidth, implying that the input impedance is slowly varying over a wide frequency range. The gain of the horn antenna often increases as the frequency of operation is increased, and this is because the size of the horn aperture is always measured in wavelength. A higher frequency has a smaller wavelength. Since the horn antenna has a fixed physical size, the aperture is more wavelengths across at high frequencies. Horn antennas have very little loss, so the directivity of the horn is roughly equal to its gain. So types of horn antenna are E-plane horn antenna, H-plane horn antenna, pyramidal horn antenna. The horn antenna or the microwave horn is an antenna consisting of waveguide whose end walls are flared outside to form a megaphone-like structure. So the horns are widely, which is shown here. So the horns are widely used as antennas at ultra high frequencies and microwave frequencies that are well above 300 megahertz. These are used to measure the gain of other antennas as calibrating antennas and directive antenna for devices like automatic door opens and microwave radio meters. The advantage of the horn antenna include moderate directivity, low standing wave radio and broad bandwidth. The gain of the horn antenna ranges up to 25 dB. These are extensively used at microwave frequency when the power gain needed is moderate. So it is radiating element which has the shape of the horn. Its waveguide, it is a waveguide, one end of which is flared out. Then a waveguide, when excited at one end and open at the second end, it radiates. However, the radiation is poor and non-directive pattern results because of mismatch between the waveguide and free space. The mouth of the waveguide is flared out to improve the radiation efficiency, directive pattern and directivity. So the type of the horn is sectoral horn. It is a horn in which the flaring exists only in one direction. It has two types: sectoral H-plane horn if flaring is along the direction of magnetic field H, and E-plane horn is if flaring along the direction of electric field E. So the pyramidal horn, it is a horn in which the flaring is along both E and H and it has the shape of truncated pyramid. So conical horn, if walls of the circular waveguide are flared out, a conical horn is obtained. So the operation of the horn antenna is that the first point is in a waveguide, the propagation is restricted by the conducting walls and the waves will not spread. After reaching the mouth, the waves spread laterally and wavefront becomes spherical. At the end of the mouth of the waveguide, there exists a near field region where the wavefront is complicated one, and this is considered to be the transition region where a change of the propagation from the waveguide to free space takes place. As the waveguide impedance and free space impedance do not match, the mouth of the waveguide is flared out and this flaring provides impedance matching and improves radiation efficiency, directive pattern and directivity. Then parabolic antenna. The parabolic reflectors are microwave antennas. The frequency range for this is the frequency the frequency range used for the application of parabolic reflector is antenna is above 1 megahertz, and these antennas are widely used for the radio and wireless application. So the standard definition of the parabola is locus of point which moves in such a way that its distance from the fixed point plus its distance from the straight point. From fixed point means focus, and from the straight line means directrix. It is constant. The geometry of the parabolic reflector, the point F is the focus, that is feed is given, and V is the vertex. So the line joining F and V is the axis of symmetry, and PQ are reflected ray, where L represent the line directrix on which the reflected point lie. So to say that they are being line directrix on which the reflected points lie, to say that they are being collinear. Hence, as per the definition, the distance between F and L lie constant with respect to the wave being focused. The reflected wave form a collimated wave front out of the parabolic shape. The ratio of the focal length to aperture size, known as F over D ratio, is an important parameter of the parabolic reflector, and its value varies from 0.25 to 0.50. So the law of reflection states that the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection are equal, and this law, when used along with a parabola, it helps the beam focus. The shape of the parabola, when used for the purpose of the reflection of wave, it exhibits some properties of the parabola which are helpful for building an antenna and using the waves reflected. Then the properties of parabola are that all the waves originating from the focus reflects back to the parabolic axis. Hence, all the waves reaching the aperture are in phase. As the waves are in phase, the beam of the radiation along the parabolic axis will be strong and concentrated. So, the parabolic reflectors helps in producing high directivity with narrower beam width. Now, construction and working of a parabolic reflector. If parabolic reflector antenna is used for transmitting a signal from the field comes out of the dipole or a horn antenna to focus the wave onto the parabola. It means that the wave comes out of the focal point and strike the paraboloidal reflector. This wave now gets reflected as a collimated wave front to get transmitted. The same antenna is used as a receiver. When the electromagnetic wave hits the shape of the parabola, the wave gets reflected onto the feed point, and the dipole or the horn antenna, which acts as a receiver antenna, at its feed receives the signal to convert it into electric signal and forwards it to the receiver circuitry. So the gain of the parabola is a function of the aperture ratio, that is d by lambda, and the effective radiated power ERP of an antenna is a multiplication of the input power fed to the antenna and its power gain. Usually a waveguide horn antenna is used as a feed radiator for the paraboloid reflector antenna. Along with this technique, we have another type of feed given to the paraboloid reflector antenna called as called as Cascade feed. Next is the microstrip patch or printed antenna. The microstrip antenna is also commonly referred to as a patch antenna. The microstrip or the patch antenna are becoming increasingly useful because they can be printed directly onto a circuit board. These antennas are become very widespread within the mobile phone market. The patch antenna are low cost and it have a low profile and are easily fabricated. So consider the microstrip antenna fed by a microstrip transmission line. The patch antenna, microstrip transmission line and the ground plane are made up of high conductivity metal, typically copper. The patch is of the length L, width W and sitting on the top of the substrate, some dielectric circuit board of thickness H with permittivity epsilon T. So the thickness of the ground plane or of the microstrip is not critically important. Typically the height H is much smaller than the wavelength of the operation, but it should not be much smaller than 0.025 of wavelength, or the antenna efficiency will be degraded. So the patch usually fed along the central line to symmetry and thus minimize the execution of undesirable modes. The microstrip antennas are easy to fabricate and comfortable on the curved surface. The directivity is fairly insensitive to the substrate thickness. The microstrip patch antennas patches are in variety of shapes such as rectangular, square, triangular and circular. So the frequency of operation of the patch antenna is determined by the length L. The center frequency is given by Fc equal to C by 2L square root of epsilon r. So epsilon r is epsilon 0, epsilon r mu 0. This equation says that the microstrip antenna should have a length equal to 1/2 of wavelength within the dielectric medium. So antenna applications are given here. Ground based telecommunication system. It has a direct broadcasting, radio links, mobile phones and base station, traffic toll, navigation. Then satellite communication system, it has a linking ground based system at a long distance satellite TV, mobile earth terminals and mobile phones. Then civilian and military radar. In civilian and military radar, weather radar, air traffic radar, military search and scouting radar, synthetic aperture surveillance radar, ionospheric and planetary research. Then radiometers, military early warning system, radio astronomy, meteorology and land resource surveillance. So these are the antenna applications. So in the next lecture we will see the fundamental parameters of the antenna.